NCTV45, The Train, anytime on your time.
Today's programming is brought to you by NCTV45 and NC Radio 450, Newcastle's community television station. This program furnished by Sporting Goods, 23 East Washington Street, Newcastle. Call 724-658-2535. These fine businesses provided funding for this program. Gatherings, Town and Country, and On Target.
Welcome everybody to the Cedar Sports Corner. I'm Alex Laverson, and with me as always is our producer, Mr. Angelo Parada. And Angelo, what a weird weekend in sports.
I took a lot of antacid tablets and stuff for an upset stomach. This is the second week in a row the No Future League aired its ugly head. Mm-hmm. And believe me, I walked into the house, I sat down, the Patriots are playing the Cowboys. Driving rain scores 10-6. It keeps bouncing back. It's a 4-point game. Late in the game, minute 38, the Cowboys have the ball. 3rd and 3, they complete the pass. Hold it! There's a flag on the play. What's the flag? Tripping. The instant replay shows that the guy who was being blocked was down on the ground, and the guy extended his leg, but to no nth degree, because there was nobody there. He extended his leg, and next to him was another Dallas Cowboy. Moral of the story, nobody got tripped except Art Goodell, who should be getting tripped on his way out the door.
Mm-hmm. And I know a lot of, and we've talked about this before on, let's say, plenty of our shows, and it just seems like I can't remember a weekend where there really hasn't been a discussion or people complaining about the way officiating has gone in the NFL.
Well, let's kind of frame this, okay? Monday Night Football used to be Monday Night Football. You go out for wings, okay? Yeah, okay, they sold some malted products, but it was an event. It's seemed to have gotten struck down, and Dancing with the Stars is dancing away. Okay. Then came along fantasy football. Everybody talked about their fantasy team. Well, I don't even hear people mumbling about it. And now, with what you have going forward, you're making calls like this. It's leaving a lot of people nauseated, and you know what? Hi guys, guess what? I'm watching college football. Now, everybody knows I'm going to watch Duquesne and Notre Dame, but even if I catch the Teal Colleges and the Slippery Rocks and the YSUs, I'm feeling better about watching Robert Morris and that group than this No Future League stuff.
I don't want to be one of those people. I don't want to be like a typical person that says, well, the reason my team is so bad this year is because the refs are always against them, blah, blah, blah. That's not what I'm trying to say at all. But there definitely there's definitely issues.
You know what? I have no love or dislike or anything for Denver. Okay? Denver got screwed, so to speak, against Minnesota with the interference calls. The Dallas Patriots game, I come in, I'm not really, let's put it this way, I'm not a lover of either of the teams. I don't really particularly like Dallas, but I don't particularly like the Patriots, and I'm watching them just mess up the game. I mean, something's
gotta change.
I would encourage viewers to write in to their local NFL team and ask for Roger Goodell's removal. I think he's the worst thing that ever happened to professional football.
I just wonder how this future team in London is going to work out. That'd be very complicated. Traveling overseas.
Well, you've got a heck of a time change. Already, when a team from the West Coast plays in the East, a team from the West Coast playing, let's say it's the 49ers playing the Eagles or the Giants. If they have a 1 o'clock game, do you know they lose 80% of the time? And you know why? And it was some number, 70, 80%. But do you know why they lose? Because that's like them playing the game at 4 in the morning. Okay, so they try to make those games at 4 or some clock. Could you imagine the jet lag flying from London to San Francisco? I mean, that.
Imagine if you're one of those fans that likes to go on the road when your team travels.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah, we're gonna go to Florida for the go to Florida watch the Steelers play, or we're gonna go to London. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I mean, that'd be fun. Yeah, I don't know how that all's gonna work.
We better take a break.
We better take a break, and when we come back, maybe we'll go over the Steelers and college football, and now word from our sponsors.
This program was provided through funding from Cedars Restaurant in Newcastle, Pennsylvania. A special thanks to Cedars, featuring Middle Eastern, Italian, and American cuisine.
If you're craving hot dogs and more, and you're in the area, then look no farther than Coney Island, downtown Newcastle on Kennedy Square.
This program was provided through funding from Cedars Restaurant in Newcastle, Pennsylvania. A special thanks to Cedars, featuring Middle Eastern, Italian, and American cuisine.
And we are back. So, Angelo, let's transition to college football here before we get into the Steelers. Well, your Notre Dame Fighting Irish had a pretty smooth sailing victory over the Boston College Eagles. You know who did not have a smooth sailing victory was the Pitt Panthers, and man, 28-0. What?
I was amazed.
Yeah, that was just like thump. You know, I know the weather was bad; it was rainy, but both teams had to play in that. And
so here's my question. Notre Dame, playing out of the Atlantic Coast Conference, will be the Coastal champion. Given all things, Clemson goes into the playoff the way it looks right now. Okay, Alabama's on the outside looking in. So you potentially have an Alabama-Utah matchup, an Oklahoma-Florida. Does Notre Dame play Penn State, or does Notre Dame, with a potential Clemson loss, go to the Orange Bowl and play the Clemson Tigers?
I'm not sure how that would work out. I would like to see Notre Dame and Penn State play. I think Notre Dame would beat Penn State. I don't know if they beat Clemson, probably not. I think one way or another, those are going to be two games, that the whole world's going to want to watch. Well, the country's going to want to watch, I should say. As far as pick goes, it looks like it's either going to be the Pinstripe Bowl or the Military Bowl, yippee. Or the Belt Bowl, I should say. So, if it's the Military Bowl, Navy again, really, I don't like that matchup for Pitt. And honestly, a lot of people are saying if Pitt could finish 9-4, it'd be a pretty good season for them. I mean, okay, I guess, but considering how bad the Coastal was, I really wanted them to.
Do you want to finish 9-4 and play an Appalachian State? Look who you're choosing. You've got Appalachian State, Navy, and USC.
Mm-hmm.
Would a Pitt Iowa contest be good?
Here's the thing. Pitt's offense is so bad, and it's just so strange because Kenny Pickett, their quarterback, had a pretty decent game against North Carolina, but for the most part this year, it's been so bad. So it really just determines if they could get some momentum and rhythm. Like I said, Kenny Pickett for the most part this year has been not good at all. So many things I feel like would have to fall into place, and things would have to go so right for Pitt if they wanted to beat a team like Navy. I mean, I could see them losing their last two and going to 7-6. I really do, because normally I would say, yeah, they could at least, beat Boston College, and then even if they lose against, their bowl game, finish 8-5. But for them to get destroyed by Virginia Tech, the way they just played, they play like that, they're not going to win either of their last two games. So we all know Pitt is like the most schizophrenic team in all of college football. We know how that works.
Here's the
never
thing.
know what you're going to get with them.
Michigan gets another loss. They're 9-3 because they lose to Ohio State. Okay, Minnesota struggles. Ohio State's going into the playoff. Does Notre Dame pull a Penn State Rose Bowl? Notre Dame, would the Rose Bowl be willing to snub the Pac-12 and insert Notre Dame in there for audience measure?
Well, I would assume
it would be the first time since like the 30s.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, if I'm correct, and I might be wrong, I think Notre Dame usually draws the best TV viewers. So you would think they'd want them.
Yeah.
I don't know how.
Because a 9-2 Notre Dame team isn't really bad. When you look at a 9-2 Notre Dame team, what you're saying is there was a tremendous rain in Michigan, and they lost a close game to Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, really? When you take a look at the Georgia game, 23-17, that's 6 points.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not the Michigan game. I kind of throw out because I don't think Notre Dame loses that badly if they play 10 more times.
Interesting.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So even if they might lose, they won't lose that badly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I don't know. Now we better take a break and talk about college basketball.
Now a word from our sponsors.
This program furnished by the MAD Unit, Mobile Auto Detailing. See Michael Sad at themadunit.com. Holy snowman, it's the Turf Bar, home of great sandwiches, appetizers, tacos, you name it, they have it at the Turf Bar. It's just the right food. You'll enjoy those special drinks. They're there too. And get that nice cold beverage, relax, enjoy the Turf Bar. If you ain't there, you should be. Hello, friends. Pinella Brothers, 1701 Hamilton Street, provided funding for this program. Great food and drink, Pinella Brothers.
And welcome back, everybody, to our third and final segment of the Cedar Sports Corner. Angela, did you happen to catch that Steeler-Bengal game yesterday?
I didn't.
Okay. And as you know, Duck Hodges came in. Steelers got the victory, and all of a sudden, there's a pretty strong quarterback controversy. Do you think this quarterback controversy is deserved, or do you still think it should just be Rudolph hands down?
I think it's Rudolph. I think they're doing some things to kind of make it easy on Rudolph so that he adjusts. He's the quarterback of the future. He's a drop back. He's going to complete the passes. But the Steelers still being able to make the playoffs, maybe by resting Rudolph, it better prepares them down the road. But I got to pivot into something, and the Duquesne Dukes are 6-0. Mm-hmm. And wins against Princeton, Air Force. Don't look now, but the Dukes are hot. They got VMI coming up, Columbia and Radford and Appalachian State as they get ready to close out UAB and Marshall as they close out December. Now that's what that puts them at is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more wins. A 12-0 Duquesne team going in to season play in January. Are we talking rankings now?
I don't know. I mean, I think a lot more would have to happen for them to get ranked. I'm not saying they should not. I'm not saying they shouldn't be ranked, or I'm not even saying they should be ranked. But I mean, if they'd have to pull off. First, they have to beat, I feel like, a ranked team, because there's going to be a decent amount of schools who are still, undefeated or.
Are you saying the top 16 bid?
Well, no. I mean, even if you get a top 25 win, it would depend too about. Like I said, there's probably going to be a decent amount of undefeated schools too that are kind of smaller, like Duquesne. So they're going to need wins that would stand out compared to those other schools.
Well, right now they're marked in yellow as leading the pack, and people are taking a heck of a look at the Dukes. And when I go to rankings, I'm seeing a 2-1 Villanova and a 6-0 Duquesne.
Mm-hmm.
I'm seeing a 3-1 Memphis and a 6-0 Duquesne.
Oh, I mean,
here when we look at the honorable mentions, okay, not seeing them yet.
I mean, of course, those bigger schools are going to get a benefit of the doubt because they're trying to rank, in their opinion, the best teams. So it's like saying, okay, so one of these schools that have 1 or 2 losses, they might not have the greatest record as a lesser school like Duquesne, but are they better than Duquesne? I would imagine a 2-1 Baylor or 2-1 Washington. Yeah, would beat Duquesne for obvious reasons. So again,
I don't know. The Baylor Bears were beaten by the Dukes, and that was about 10 years ago.
Well,
but it's an interesting thought as I kind of pivot around to let you know about that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, for a team to get the benefit of a doubt, they'd have to beat other ranked teams because the benefit of the doubt will be given to the bigger schools. You know what I'm saying?
For ratings?
I'm just saying perception-wise. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But we've seen, in college basketball, a lot of these times these lesser schools beat the bigger schools. I mean, it happens. So
Panthers are 4-2.
that is correct. They played Kansas State.
Lost to Nichols State.
Mm-hmm.
And lost to West Virginia.
Yeah, and they play Kansas State tonight. I think they're a 4-point underdog, if I'm correct.
And this is the time of recording, so.
Yeah, so I mean, things could change. Again, I still think it's going to take a few years for Pitt to kind of get back on track for being a tournament team. It's a long rebuild. That's why they signed Jeff Cable to, 7 years. It's still going to take.
So in other words, the Dukes could be looking at going to the dance.
I hope they do. I don't know. The surest thing, obviously, is to win their conference tournament. But I wouldn't. We had this conversation last year. Remember?
If you get to 12-0 at the end of this December, to get to 20 games, winning 10 doesn't look like it's that impossible.
Mm-hmm.
So, hats off to the Dukes. Hey, that's going to have to do it for us.
I think so. And Angela, any parting words?
The No Future League, until they get rid of Goodell, I think I'm out. Let's go Irish. Let's go Dukes. I'll watch college football and college basketball.
Thanks for watching, everybody.